Have you ever been put into or thrown into or thrust into a position where maybe you weren't ready? Well, you see the surfer up in the upper right-hand corner, paddleboarder, I guess to be precise. That's what it sometimes feels like. You're all alone on this enormous ocean trying to figure out what to do next. You're told you're taking over a company. You're told you got the position, you're being promoted or moving to another company. But what do? So I want to share a few ideas, a few items. If I were taking over a company or position today, these are the 7 key items I would do as a leader. I know they're going to help you in your position. First of all, walk around, and the arrow is pointing over to those footsteps along the beach that go through this entire thing. I'll talk more about each of these. Focus on culture, build communication and trust, understand and respect the current situation, set clear priorities and expectations, align the leadership team, and then engage with customers and stakeholders. All right, let's dive into number 1, walk around. Now, obviously, this person isn't walking around, and that's fine. But I love the water, and I'm amazed at what people can do on the water. And I'm amazed by what can happen in a company when you walk around. I remember one position I took, one of the first things I did, there were multiple locations. I got into each of those buildings on a regular basis and had conversations with the teachers. It was a school system, and with the students. Walked around the halls, gave high fives. Now I realize every situation is a little bit different. Manufacturing maybe not as easy. Service industries might be easier. Multiple locations makes it tough. But if it's important, and I believe it's very important, for you to walk around and be seen by people, whether you're a lead, whether you're a manager, supervisor, the CEO, if you've just taken over a company or a position, manage by walking around. People see you and they care. And then when they see you in other situations, they start building that trust. Because, oh yeah, I know this guy. Well, I've seen him before. I know this lady. She's been around the organization before as our new CEO, whatever the case might be. But walking around is so simple, yet so critical. And a lot of CEOs, they may have an open door policy, but their door is really shut because they never leave the office. So walk around as a leader. Second one, focus on culture. And I would say these are in order. Focus on culture. If you are walking around engaging with the employees are your number one asset, as a recent college graduate told me that she learned in her leadership courses. Focus on the culture. That'll happen as they see you walking around. Create a culture team. If you don't have a culture team, culture advocates, you're making a huge mistake. You have to have a group of people that you can rely on as a leader to help you understand the temperature of the workplace, to help turn it into something that's fun and engaging for the employees. Obviously, salary benefits, those are important, but that's become so competitive. It's the culture that really can make the difference. Culture eats strategy. Culture eats vision. If you don't have a good culture, you can have the greatest strategic plan. I'd love to help you with one, but if you don't have the right culture, it's not going to matter. So focus on culture as a new leader or as a new CEO in a company. Number 3, build communication and trust. When companies take surveys, the thing that appears number 1, or if it's not, I'm surprised, is communication. I think there was a recent survey that 86% of the people talked about effective communication being the number 1 key item in the workplace. And I have a program, an exercise, a workshop I go through is called Speak Your Piece. It's actually up on the wall behind me. And there are 9 different elements to that communication. Listening is a key one. And as a leader, if you can't listen, if you can't shut up, if you can't make eye contact, if you can't take notes and paraphrase what people are saying, might as well forget it now. So communication. And then from there, trust will build. Do what you say you're going to do. Do what you say you're going to do when nobody's watching. That not only will build trust, but that will also build integrity. So number 3, build communication and trust. Oh, we got to have a little commercial. So if you scan this QR code, or if you type in the website, my website, toddkukan.com/guide. I always have trouble saying that. I'll send you a free guide, right? The 7 deadly mistakes most leaders should avoid. And it's a free complimentary item, and sure appreciate, love you to have it and help you further grow on your leadership journey, because after all, it is a journey. All right, let's get back. Number 4, understand and respect the current situation. Understand and respect the current situation. I worked with a leader once in an organization, and the person came in, and first of all, she took credit for every new idea as if it were something that never happened. And secondly, she changed a lot of things that didn't need to be changed just because she had the title and thought that she should change them. So it takes, I would say, even up to 18 months, but at least a year, get through a cycle, understand the organization, understand and respect the current situation. Where does a person who's been there for 40 years park? Don't take their parking spot. And for gosh sakes, don't get a reserved parking spot. You're no more important than any other person in the organization, whether you're a lead, a vice president, or the CEO. But understand and respect the current situation. Respect the employees and their traditions. Don't eliminate something just because you're the boss and you feel you need to make a point and eliminate something. Make sure you understand the reason for each thing and let it work itself through. And as you're walking around, as you're building the communication and trust, you'll better understand what should be and shouldn't be continued in the organization. But make sure you take that step back first and learn and grow in that first year, 18 months on the job. Number 5, set clear priorities and expectations. Hopefully, when you step in, the organization or your position, at least, will have some sort of a plan in place to keep moving forward. So that goes back to slide number 4, understanding the current situation and respecting it. But then what are the priorities? Make sure that you're focusing on them, make sure that the team is focusing on them, and what are the expectations? Everybody needs, wants, and deserves expectations, the direction they should be going, what they should be focusing on. And part of your role, whether again, it's a new leadership position or you're walking in as the new CEO of a company, you need to make sure you understand what those are. So study the plan, the strategic plan, and then determine the priorities and expectations. And yes, you may need to make some changes. And maybe that's why they brought you in, is they threw out that plan, right? Whatever the case is, you got to get that figured out so you know the priorities, because once you create the priorities, you will develop habits. And those habits will generate greater productivity with you and with your team. Number 6, align the leadership team. And I put this down a little bit. I think that sometimes a new person comes in, again, whatever role it is in the organization, but maybe as a CEO, they get their leadership team around them, and those are the only people they deal with the first, 4, 8, 12 weeks, whatever the case might be, 30, 60, 90 days. My math's pretty good, I know, right? But align the leadership team, but do all those other things as well, walking around, communication, trust, all those different things we talked about. Make sure you're aligning expectations and priorities. You have to make sure, though, your leadership team is aligned, that you guys are all on the same page. And I'm from Wisconsin, so when I say guys, I mean people, okay? I don't want people getting upset about that. But your leadership team needs to be aligned, same direction, same plan, same priorities, same expectations. Although every individual is going to have different things to do in that action plan. And you have to get feedback from that team. Not only do you have to align the leadership team, you have to also understand and respect the input and welcome the input that they give you. And don't look just for the rose-colored glasses that everything's puppy dogs and butterflies, because we know it's not, right? Make sure you're challenging your team, and that's going to take some while to get them aligned, get them challenged, and get them to feel comfortable with you. But again, communication and trust will help with that situation. Number 7, engage with customers and stakeholders. Now, I will tell you, and I learned this from Craig Culver of Culver Restaurants, your number one asset, your number one resource, your number one thing in the entire business are the people, right? Without people, you can't serve your customers, you can't serve your stakeholders. So that's why walking around and building that culture is so critical as you start in a new position. But make sure you are engaging with customers and stakeholders. Reach out to your top 20 customers, your top 20 clients, your top 20 donors if you're in a nonprofit, whatever the case might be. Know who those people are. If there's a volunteer board of directors or there's a board of advisors, reach out to them, making sure that you engage with your customers and your stakeholders. Get one-on-one opportunities to chat with them, just like you will with your leadership team, just like you will with other people in your organization. But it's critical, obviously, to engage with them. If you're in a retail situation, be the person that seats them at the table the first 90 days you're on the job. making sure you get to know those customers and stakeholders, and they get to know you, and they feel comfortable and they trust you because you're communicating with them and you're taking the extra step to really hear what they have to say. So if I were taking over a company or position today, here's the 7 things I would do. There's the QR code for the leadership guide. Again, you can go to toddkukan.com /, guide. There's some other contact information for me, including my email. But please take these 7 things at heart. Maybe just start with one at a time. Don't feel like you have to do all of them at once, jump into it with both feet, right? Get yourself out there, get engaged with your people, get engaged with your team, get engaged with your organization, and make sure that you're following these steps. And there are others that you'll hear from down the road as well. Thanks so much. Have a great day.